Warning: the following podcast contains violent scenes that may be unsettling to some listeners. Listener discretion is advised. Hello, and welcome to the Diaries, where my pals and I get together and talk about subjects dealing with our favorite tabletop role-playing setting, the World of Darkness. While we may not be subject matter experts on the game lines, we have a passion that has led us to create and share actual plays with you all. Eventually we thought, well shit, we might as well take a stab at a podcast, and here you go. Each episode we will have a guest content creator to join us to talk about whatever subject is on the table. If you would like to contact us, you can reach out to us on Twitter at twin_cities_VTM or on Facebook at Twin Cities by Night. So here we go. I hope you enjoy. Hey, welcome back to the Diaries. I cannot think of anything witty to say that involves coffee, Black Sabbath, heavy metal, cold brew. I'm just fucking plumb out of ideas, Andrew. I don't know what to do.
That's not a surprise. You never have anything witty to say about that stuff.
Oh shit, and the truth comes out, man. Like, it is true, but I mean, fuck, what can I say though, man? I know I am fueled by Black Sabbath and fucking cold brew, so we'll go ahead and pick up. We don't need one-liners, man, right? Because we are in ourselves one-liners. Am I getting too deep and introspective here right now for this, or what?
I'm not really sure where you're going with that.
I have no idea where I'm going with it, but I do know where we're going to be going in this episode, which I'm really fucking excited for. So I'll actually let you explain, Andrew, since this was your kind of idea about like what, not exactly what we'll be talking about, but like kind of like the theme that we're going to be going for in this episode of the Diaries.
Yeah, one of the things that I both like and hate about the World of Darkness is its plot. There is some amazing things within the overarching story of the World of Darkness, this meta plot that is so beloved by so many people, and there's also some really terrible things in there as well. And so I'm hoping that what we can do is do like a little mini series within the Diaries, is occasionally just have like an episode where we pick some, like a topic or two of things that fit within this overall story structure of the World of Darkness and talk about them and what we like about them, what we don't like, and how you who might be listening could actually use it in your story, whether you are a player or a storyteller or whatever.
For sure. Or even how like it inspires like us as storytellers on our own actual plays, or, you know, just kind of like what we take away from it. Cause we all have unique perspectives. Everyone, listeners, you and I, because everyone who's involved in this awesome game line have unique perspectives of what they like and they do not like. Where I find that, to be honest, and I constantly say this, like I'm kind of a tabletop RPG poser, but I like the canon for me, like I don't want to say I'm clueless on VTM canon. Like I'd say I know like a good big picture view of the canon, but like when it comes into the smaller details, I'm really kind of clueless because I find it to be at times overwhelming and often debated. And then you go into the whole unreliable narrator aspect of it and different ways you can interpret it. So it's definitely though something fun that you can either choose to use or not use in your game. And we hope we can kind of inspire you guys by this and talk about these different canons. And Andrew by far is so knowledgeable on like different aspects of these games. I mean, really kudos to him if you've seen him on any of the discords or just have talked to him. Like, this guy is like, knowledge of shit is fucking mind-boggling. So it's awesome to have him here help out, because if it was just me, I'd be trying to still figure out one-liner on Cold Brew and Black Sabbath and just be failing epically. So let's talk about kind of like the first, I guess, like canon that we'll be diving into. And it's kind of one that like really, when I got back into Vampire the Masquerade, like about 3 years ago, or a little bit over 3 years ago, whenever that was, it was one that kind of called to me because of the different themes I enjoy in Vampire the Masquerade myself as a storyteller. And that is the canon of Montreal, the Sabbat city that is in Canada. And one of the things that really pulled me or had me excited when I was going to, because I had yet to read the book that a lot of that canon is in, and one of the things that was really had me excited was the tone and themes I heard from people secondhand that was in that city, and mainly being infernalism and the Sabbat kind of black dog outlook on things. Now,
yeah, I was gonna say it is a black dog book, isn't it?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, it is a black dog book. Even the art is like, you know what I mean? Like, it's definitely not something you want to leave to where kids can find, you know, but it is, yeah, it's black dog. And I have this weird, I have this weird love-hate relationship with the Black Dog label. I don't know why. I just don't feel. I mean, it's not used anymore, right? It's not used in V20, V5 line anymore. I feel that sometimes the shit that you see under the Black Dog label is just kind of like fucking stupid. You know what? I don't want to sound like an ass. I'm not, no disrespect to anyone who wrote on Black Dog lines or whatever. And it was the 90s and it was a different time period, but there's just stuff in there that I'm just like, could be handled a little bit more maturely. You know, this is my opinion for being a mature line. You know, I'm not, for anyone who's listened to like Twin Cities by Night or anything that I've story told in the past, I think people might be aware, like I like to tackle like mature themes, like, you know, darker themes like that. So I'm not bothered by stuff. I just think that when you handle such themes, to truly have it be impactful and truly have it be a respectable topic, you got to handle it a certain way. And I think sometimes the Black Dog label or stuff under the Black Dog label misses the mark. I don't know about your opinions on the Black Dog. I don't think we've ever even really talked about your opinions on Black Dog and your outlook. What's your outlook on all that, on that sub label from the 90s?
Bit mixed. There's some stuff that I like, some stuff I'm not a fan of. And even in the things that I don't like, there's elements I do enjoy. I mean, I'm running Giovanni Chronicles for my other group, and you know, that's Black Dog, and it's also not great.
Yeah.
So like it has some problems, and then you have to work to make it work. And I feel like that is something that you can say pretty much about all of the Black Dog supplements in some form or fashion. They have a lot of good ideas, but usually poor implementation, and you kind of have to work with it and change it up and do your own spin on it to make it really good.
For sure. And you articulated what I was trying to say perfectly. They're good ideas, just poor, you know, putting it into act poorly. So the Montreal canon usually was originally brushed with that Black Dog brush and labeled with that Black Dog label, which kind of surprised me. So I'm going to talk about one canon thing. I'm going to kind of open the door here about one canon thing that I actually am not a fan of in the Montreal canon, and that is the way they handle infernalism. So, you know, we all have our own ways that we interpret different themes in these games. For anyone who knows me or sat down and talked to me, I'm not like every vampire. I'm one of those people who do not think that Molly should be player characters, right? Or that think that like things like that should be like in the forefront of games. But I do think that infernalism and like the dark, the black in the world of darkness, that's usually gray, can be used to highlight different things and stories and different aspects of the game and bring more light to it in a weird way, like in a contrasting way. And the way that I prefer infernalism is more of a subtle, like Ninth Gate. I don't know if you ever seen that movie, Andrew, Ninth Gate, or like a Rosemary's Baby, kind of like just something doesn't sit right. It's just eeriness, and it's just fundamentally in its core like wrong, and really it's not given a name, it's not given a face. I mean, some people may try to articulate it by like calling it Satanism or whatever, but it's like it's something that's just in the backdrop, and it's like in that the in your peripheral vision sometimes that you can never quite get your eyes on. And if you happen to ever witness anything dealing with that, it fundamentally messes with your life and messes with your sanity and your outlook in life, kind of like what we're tackling in The Ultimate Evil. And so when I first looked into the Montreal canon and found out like there's this demon that's in a mountain. So just for anyone who may not know, there's this demon, and I'm going to butcher his fucking name or her name, Metathiax. Good luck pronouncing that. Metathiax. And basically, it is like this demon got trapped in a mountain, and basically it corrupts from within its prison. And it kind of has this like corrupting influence where like certain Canaanites or even mortals in the city were corrupted by it and became infernals. And or like how it even has this weird like concept in the canon where vampires will go to that mountain and like they imply like they go into the mountain and they're like become these different creatures that kind of like, I don't know, like walk within tunnels. It's just not my thing. And the reason why it's not my thing, and I don't know if Andrew would agree with me or not, but the reason it's not my thing, because I think it gives too much of a name to infernalism, makes it almost cartoony, like Captain Planet, like, oh, I'm corrupting you. And even like the interactions that a lot of vampires have with the infernal, and when they like make these infernalistic deals, it's just not it's not eerie to me. You know what I mean? It's just I don't find it scary. I don't find it disturbing. What are your outlooks on that?
When it comes to infernalism, I have mixed feelings regarding how that's handled in the World of Darkness as a whole, and I won't get into all of that. But I'll just kind of focus on the perspective you're coming from with this particular book and how it's handled here. I don't have a whole lot. I haven't read through this book. I did kind of skim over it once a while back, and I don't really remember a whole bunch about it. So when it comes to this type of situation, I don't mind there being like, this is an evil person who is infernal and does deals with like demonic entities and stuff like that. Like sometimes you need like that villain, but as long as they're like that's all hidden and not in the player character's face, you don't want to have like the Dungeons and Dragons villain, like, this is the evil Lich Queen that you have to go and kill. Like,
Yeah.
no, that's not what this game system's about. That's not how you handle evil in this. It's subtle, it's insidious.
Oh, I love that word, insidious. Good choice.
Yeah, yeah, anything that is overtly malevolent and in your face and come on, it's cringeworthy, and it's not for vampire, I don't think, because it's the world of darkness, and that's implies different shades of gray, and that morality is a sliding scale, and that's a great thing to focus on. So if what you say about this is that it's too blatant, I'll take your word for that, and that it's and I wouldn't be a fan probably if I read through that and was like, ugh, I would change it myself. So,
Yeah.
but if it was subtle, handled carefully, there was behind the scenes things, and the corruption was spread and in a way that wasn't like obvious on what it was, just that like, oh, shit's going downhill and nobody knows why, and it's just everything's going to hell, and it's just like constant issues left and right. Like that's the type of corruption you like to see in a game, because there could be this one evil thing behind everything driving it all towards this dark end, but when you don't know what it is, it adds to the mystery and makes it more exciting as a player.
Oh, for sure. And scarier, I think. The unexplainable. The unexplainable is fucking scary. And once it's given a name and explained, it becomes, for me, it kind of loses some of that eeriness. Now, there are themes with NPCs of like being somewhat evil, but then it gets confusing where like one guy who was like an inquisitioner, basically part of the Sabbat Inquisition. Basically, their job's to root out Inquisitor.
The Inquisition.
Yeah, their job is to root out infernalism, where his soul is taken out of his body by the demon, I think, and put into the soul of an infernalist, and then it becomes infernal again, but then recreates its body to look like something. And I'm like reading this, like I'm confused. I mean, I'm kind of dumb, so like I get confused easy, but like I'm like reading this, like what? Like this is just becoming too much. It's like just too much. It's taking to me something that, like in Clan Book Bali, that is like fucking scary and eerie, and then it's just like making it like cartoony to me. Now I don't know which book was written first, I can't attest, I don't know off the top of my head, but to kind of switch to change fire, to adjust fire to a different direction of something that I think has strengths and weaknesses in the Montreal canon is the NPCs. And there's some NPCs and / what they call covens that I think are fucking absolutely brilliant, right? Here's the thing. Dark Secret, well, maybe not Dark Secret. Even though I ran more Camarilla games, I guess, on our channel and just in life, I am a bigger fan of the Sabbat. Now, I'm not a bigger fan of the Sabbat because of the blood and the gore and the potential violence that occurs from there. I'm a bigger fan of the Sabbat because I feel like you can really dive into some deep philosophical ideals about being inhuman. I think the concept of paths is fucking amazing. I think restructuring your belief system to be something that is completely alien to you when you're a normal human is fucking brilliant. I think reading those paths not only challenge me as a storyteller to think from a different perspective, it challenges players. Think about the challenge of being a player and trying to play out something that is unnatural to you. So
yeah, sometimes it takes a little bit of honesty to yourself and how you're playing to really play paths properly, because you have to catch yourself even, and because not the storyteller is dealing with like everybody on their own individual paths, and sometimes you're going to break the ethics of your own path without even realizing, and you're going to need to try and rein in on that, because it's not They're definitely not natural ways of thinking.
Yeah, exactly right. They're
It's
not.
real easy to accidentally like do something and be like, ah, shit, actually that doesn't go along with like, how this code of ethics is supposed to work.
It's
Especially when
definitely
you're playing a very nuanced character.
exactly. And Sabbat characters can be very fucking nuanced, man. They can be very nuanced. NPCs in here there are a wide variety of NPCs that are very nuanced and very well done. I mean, for those of you who listen to our actual plays, I've kind of hinted on our Discord and to people who listen to me when I ramble, and I'm saying that like along with your help, Andrew. By the way, I'm really trying to make the Twin Cities on Fire, which is going to be the 1945 story arc that we're going to have. That's going to involve the Sabbat raid that we've kind of hinted happened. Then I really want to take a deep dive into the Sabbat. So I'm trying to use like canon NPCs that I see that were around then who can be in the area, or also like different rituals like you were bringing up from the V20, the new Black Hand book, the Telemara book. I think I pronounced it right. I'm really on a roll with pronouncing shit today. But I think a lot of the NPCs are nuanced, but I do have one gripe. And I gotta point this out, and I am not a fucking fan of it. And again, I've been told by people, hey, it was the 90s and whatever, it's the 90s, I guess. But there's an NPC in this fucking book that I really felt it could have gone without. And it's the NPC Raphael Katari. And basically, there's another NPC that kind of is part of that character, and it's cherubim, I guess. My point being is a Nosferatu anti-tribute who hangs out with a kid that was embraced, and they openly say that there's inappropriate physical relations that go on between the two. What's the point of that in the book? Like, what the fuck is the point of that in the book?
They made it a Nosferatu too, just to make it extra gross. Like,
I know.
Yeah, and they have sex.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck is that? I'm reading this, and I'm like, that's my issue. That's one of my issues with Black Dog, right there. You know what I mean? Okay, it's the fucking 90s.
There are times where using something like that fucked up can bring forward a story. You can have this like creepy pseudo-sexual thing going on with a vampire who's like in a child's body, like they did that in what was that
Interview the Vampire.
Yeah Interview with the Vampire. It had that whole like all throughout, and it's something where you feel sympathy for the characters while also being kind of like, oh, this is also weird and gross, and like, but ultimately, you feel bad for the situation that child is in, and it's something you can use in a game without it just being, oh, edgelord, like
exactly,
like, oh, look how perverted and twisted they are. Like, no, like make it serve a purpose.
Exactly. To make it serve a fucking purpose. That's exactly my point. Now, like I said, if
that purpose could just be that you want a player character to just fucking hate them. Like, that's possible. But like, just throwing that in there just because.
Exactly. I mean, like, I would be remiss and I would be like totally hypocritical if I said you absolutely can't touch those topics in a game, because I've done it myself as a storyteller, with Roman Duncern and all that shit. But it wasn't like,
and with Coach Olsen. With my own character, Lenny, is dealing with something like that. So
yeah, you can do it, and you can, like, these games are cathartic and therapeutic in a way, and you can tackle shit like that, and you can have it as a horror element, but just to go out and like say it is unimaginative, dude. It's like you said, the Anne Rice's Interview with the Vampire, great fucking book, awesome fucking movie adaptation, and it tackled some difficult fucking themes there, dude. It tackled homosexuality, it tackled, even with the character that you are talking about, it tackled a lot of themes there, but it was done in a manner that, I don't know, was just done in a manner that was adult, that was like not edgelordish. And I really don't like to I try not to be like insulting, and I don't know who wrote that part, and I'm not like whatever, and different time periods, again, whatever, but it's just too much. It's too fucking much, and it served no fucking purpose.
All right, well, here's the really difficult question for you, Chris.
Yeah.
How would you use that in a game?
Oof. How would I use that?
How would you use that in a game? That specific plot point.
Oh man.
How could you make that better?
I think I can make it.
You can.
Yeah, I think I can too. I definitely think I could if I was to use him as an NPC in the game, and along with the other vampire, the kid vampire, I would use innuendo, and I would use moments to where, like I do with a lot of things in game, where I'm going to have the players and the characters themselves wonder if what they're assuming is right, wonder if they're assuming is wrong. You know what I mean? Like, just kind of leave it like life in general, man. How many people do you see walking down the street that you look at and you just get bad vibes from by how they look, let alone people you see them in social situations and doing shit and you see them being inappropriate. I mean, not to open up a can of worms, but you can even go back to like the Michael Jackson days and looking at shit like that and being like, something's not right there, you know? And you could even use that as a plot driven thing. Like, so let's say you have this Sabbat NPC, these two Sabbat NPCs, and even a Montreal game or whatever, and you have a Sabbat member who's still on humanity, or you have a Sabbat member who's like on the path of honorable accord or something to that shit, who does not think that is right. But you can also use it as a plot point to where maybe someone doesn't interpret what this character sees as that's what's going on. You know, is this Nosferatu going to go around telling people, hey, look what I do with this kid? No. And it could lead to conflict. It can lead to a lot of shit. And that's fine if you want to handle it that way, you know? What I felt that they could have done in the book is gone without the line saying they have sex, you know? You could use some terminology to imply that maybe it might be happening. I mean, what happened to like that to me is what drives me to what I enjoy about the canon, because so much of it is interpretive. I love that unreliable narrator that's thrown around a lot, right? For canon. I love the fact that in my game, I can be like, it doesn't make sense for neonates to believe in a fucking Cain myth. I mean, they could say it's being told, but when in a world where a lot of people don't even take religion verbatim. So I don't know. I get that. I just felt like between you and I felt like it just was to make it edgelord, just like the fucking pictures that are in that book that I'm looking at. I'm like, did this serve a purpose other than to make people uncomfortable? And I get that. You want to make people uncomfortable in horror. That's fucking fine, dude. I've done it in our shit. Fine. That's cool. You got to do it, though, in a certain way, man, or it's just fucking dumb. It's just like Hostile, the movie. Like, it serves no fucking purpose. It's just gratuitous, and it's just going to make me...
Yeah, let's not dive into the torture porn genre.
Yeah. It's just to me... Yeah.
there's a whole lot of criticism to go there.
Someone's probably like a huge Hostile fan. It's like, oh, subscribe. Fuck these motherfuckers. No, I'm joking. But, you know, hey, and if you...
Goodbye.
Yeah, exactly. And I just think, like, dude, you know me, man, right? And anyone who's listened to us knows that, like, I'm not sitting here playing katanas and trench coats, and I don't fault people who do that. But that I try to tell horror stories in my shit that make people uncomfortable. But there's a way to do it, man. Like, I look at this. There's a lot of World of Darkness I look at, and I get inspiration like I do from horror novels by authors I like Clive Barker, all these folks. I read something like this, I read something like that in the book, and there's nothing that like in any horror book that makes me go that handles it like that. It's just the way that it's handled. And again, awesome thing is you don't have to fucking use the NPC, you know, or you don't have to use that, or you can change it or whatever. I just think that it was done for shock, man, and I hate shit just done for shock, dude. Because
no, that's fair. Sometimes you could just have to just change it. Yeah, a lot of times you have to change it to make it better. There's a lot of potential. So I think that covers. I think that covers infernalism and
Montreal.
all that other
jazz.
Montreal rather well.
One thing though is the covens are really awesome. Take a look at the covens. Really fucking good. Really great how they handle it. I'm a huge fan of the librarians and and I had the name right in front of me. I believe they are called the Queens of Mercy. The Queens of Mercy are an awesome fucking concept of basically like people who are embraced like in the gay quarter of Montreal, and how like it's so fucking well done. And that's done with like respect, you know what I mean? And I'm a huge fucking fan of that. So take from it what you will, but Montreal to me is like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Mexico City, the way that Mexico City, the Sabbat lore is Sabbat's handled in Mexico City. I'm more of a fan of that than of like the Quebec shit. And maybe there's some Sabbat purists who are gonna be upset about that, but it is what it is. But yes, moving on. So one thing I do love, you know what I love, Andrew?
You could end this in multiple different ways. I'm imagining cold brew is going to be the one.
Cold brew. Well, that's one, and I love me some Black Sabbath and Guns N' Roses. But one thing that I love is when in World of Darkness games or World of Darkness canon, something like reaches out to me and makes me feel the enjoyment and the overall entertainment that I feel from the horror genre outside of the World of Darkness, like books, right? And so, which leads to that's a weird way I came like around this city to Constantinople by night. Constantinople, the whole concept of Constantinople, like the whole fucking concept, I fucking love. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
I mean, it's an important piece of history, It was the heart of one of the most long-standing empires and heart of culture and learning. It was the city in the world for millennia.
Mm. Yeah, it was. It was a hubbub of a culture. It was the new Rome. You know, you had Constantine who went there and made it the new Rome, especially after Rome was sacked. It's not only is it awesome how they handled it, but I felt like the main reason that I love it so much is that so many of the characters and the personalities and that lore are original and are unique. And, that's hard to find, to be honest with you, man, in the world of darkness, because a lot of what has been done has already been done, And it's like you constantly kind of see some concepts that come around and you're like, yeah, okay. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't just like strike originality in you. And the thing that really pulled me in to Constantinople by Night was the concept of Michael the Toreador and just the epic beauty. And I'm not using that term lightly when I say beauty, but just the beautiful concept that they take for an elder and they make it into like this
Well, not just
tragic
elders, the Methuselahs involved,
Methuselah's. Yeah,
the
sorry.
Trinity.
The Trinity. The Trinity is just so well done. The Trinity just makes me remember when I was reading Anne Rice's like Blood and Gold, The Vampire Mond. Fuck, I'm
Well,
forgetting.
let's break this down for people.
Yeah.
What is the Trinity? First, we have, most importantly, Michael. Michael, who that's not even his first name. Michael, who the name he ultimately took when he converted to Christianity. The Toreador, who is probably the best example of like an ancient Toreador, someone who is subject to this curse for so long it warps who they are to the point to where they they take on this image of like this stained glass like angelic being and sees themselves as like a true archangel. He's so warped and twisted and deranged, over time, but insanely powerful. And who's to say he isn't like what a god would be? He's that powerful, and everyone loves him.
Yes, and he has like through use of disciplines like chemistry and all that stuff, like has given this projection on himself to find it. And he like went to Constantinople with the purpose of building this paradise, building this what he felt was a city of God, because he became a convert unto Christianity much late, deep into his vampiric existence. Because when he was embraced, there was no Christianity, at the time.
Yeah, he was like it wasn't until like round. I know it wasn't at the turn of the century, but it was before it had gotten to like a century in, or turn of the millennium. I'm sorry, it was before it got to a century in. I don't remember the exact date or anything. They have it in the book somewhere,
Yeah.
but like he was already like at least 2,000 years old by that point.
Yep. He was at least 2,000 years old. He had, and if you read about his past before then, it's just so fucking awesome how that is dealt with. But it shows to me, like with a lot of respect, how, like you said, vampires change over time when those millennia go by, and how their grip on reality slowly starts slipping away. And I think it comes almost to that challenge that we talked about with paths and having to play something alien. Now, what
I also hold on. I
Yeah,
also
go
want to kind of point out that it's important to note the whole reason Michael was even like wandering around looking for somewhere to settle and everything. If you kind of have to read into this a little bit, but if you look like in Rome, there's this whole cult going on at the time, and it's called Mithraism, and like there's this whole thing about how like they worship this entity they revere as like the sun god Mithras, and it was kind of a big deal. And if you don't know, Mithras is a vampire of a different clan, and they don't really typically get along with each other. The Ventru and the Toreador in ancient times, they were rivals.
Mm-hmm.
They were rivals in Rome, and so you have this like backdrop. It kind of, if you take Constantinople by night and then you take like London, they have like a Victorian London by night, and you kind of read like the timelines of the two, you can kind of match it up and look how like these two were in London. Something happened where the both of them left, said fuck this place, and went off and founded their own empires on opposite sides of Europe.
Yeah, they're both in Rome and they're territorial, right? These are
Hmm.
territorial creatures, right? And the older you get, that territory widens. It goes from being like a block to like, this is my fucking goddamn 1,000 mile radius, and you're not welcome
Yeah.
here. And the what I like too about the whole Trinity thing, when you introduce Antonius the Gaul, who's a Ventru, and introduced Dragon, which is he was a Shimize, was that weird form of romance that and love that kindred have with each other. And Anne Rice
That
tackles this,
love triangle. Yeah.
yeah, love triangle, but it's not like it's a pure love, right? It's not like they never get into details about like exactly what that love constitute, but I always take it like it's more than, it's not even really like a physical love, it's a companionship. It's a companionship in a world where you are extremely fucking lonely, you're extremely paranoid, you're extremely alien, and you find someone to share that eternity with, or part of that eternity with. And that's something that's dealt with a lot in Anne Rice's books, where she kind of deals with where vampires will kind of come together and spend time for like a couple centuries together and then just stop hanging out with each other. You know what I mean? Just like they're out of love. And I felt that tapped into that so much. It's such a fucking tragic story. I don't want to get into the whole, like, it's a really complicated story, but
Yeah,
there's
I
a,
mean, as any like circle of lovers is when you have a love triangle between these three who are just so enthralled with each other. And there's no doubt in my mind that there's blood bonding going on as well, like
Mhm.
warping all this and making them obsessive.
Yeah, and Michael trying to be manipulative, and then like the
Hmm.
the death of one of them. I don't want to spoil too much, and then the remorse that happened after that, and then like the ramifications. Because not only is Constantinople these three, it is their children, and it is the Canaanites that are brought to the city because they're pulled by this dream. Because this is a
Hmm.
dream
Yeah,
of
the
Michael.
dream. Yeah, it's the dream
Yeah.
of the continuing empire.
Hmm.
It's you have to think about it. What's happening in the world at the time? There's this decline in the Western Roman Empire. They're facing all these struggles, and like emperor after emperor is just ruining everything by ignoring their problems, digging their head in the sand, and making all these games happen, and just spending money, and then people are getting assassinated, and they're being slowly just over time just driven back, driven away from all the land they had conquered. And it gets to a point where the entirety of the Western half of the Roman Empire, because they had split into two, with two different emperors ruling over each portion because it was so large.
Yep.
And there wasn't like instantaneous communication or anything. They needed people who they could rely on to rule both sides. And so the western half just completely collapsed.
Hmm.
And this was long after Constantinople had become the heart of the empire. Rome was long abandoned at this point. Emperor Constantine, he moved into Constantinople, like, renamed the city, and just like this is the new Rome.
New church. You had the Orthodox Church there too. That was different than its Western counterpart. It was so
Weird,
much.
weird factoid I learned, by the way. Little side note.
Mhm.
Did you know that like the majority of people in the Roman Empire actually spoke Greek and not Latin?
I did not know that. Wow.
Yeah,
I did not know
yeah,
that.
they spoke Greek. It was the most common language. The Romans had a hard on for Greeks,
Well,
and
yeah. Yeah. Early in their history.
the aristocracy actually spread Greek throughout the entirety of the empire, and the whole reason the whole Byzantine Empire, as it's now referred to as, the common language is actually Greek.
Mm, nice. Very nice. Yeah. Yeah. It's so well done. And the thing that is another thing that I like about it, there's two things I want to talk about before I forget, but I'm going to go with the first one. One thing that I like about it is the way that they handle Canaanite politics in the city. They don't have a prince, and they have families, and they have like families have certain power and structure, and then they have subfamilies that fall within them. And it's just like,
And everyone answers to the Trinity. The
yeah,
Trinity, what is that they call it? There's this whole like hierarchy that you can kind of see as like the precursor to the traditions,
yeah.
where it's still a little bit, it's different from the traditions. It's
Hmm.
very different, but it has a certain, I don't
Rule
know.
set, like a
Yeah,
laws,
it's the laws that all the Canaanites in Constantinople have to follow,
the
and the
codex.
Trinity is the number one. Here I found the list. It's called the
The
Legacy of Trinity.
Yep, the Codex of Legacies for sure.
Hmm. And the very first, everyone is answers to the Trinity. everyone, essentially, is what it is. They are the ones who set all the laws. They are the ones who interpret it and create new laws. So you just do whatever they say. And so you have all, like you're saying, all these families, all these groups of vampires that have like all their individual like outlooks and politics, but each of them, they all know who they answer to.
Yeah, for sure. And the one thing that I like about it too is it's a tragic story because we all know what happened to Constantinople. If those of you listening don't, it ends up getting sacked by the Westerners, and then it ends up being taken over by Easterners, and it's kind of like in the middle of this hotbed on both sides of it that are going on. But before that ever happens, you're given an insight into how the dream, like in itself, Michael's dream is slowly, I guess, I don't want, well, it's kind of being corrupted, but it's just slowly falling apart because Michael's going more insane. In the book, they kind of mentioned that it's pushed a little quicker than it was going because of a Malkavian, but like Michael is slowly getting discombobulated. He eventually goes into torpor. Things start falling apart. People die. And to kind of go back to a little bit of what we were talking about Montreal, that I didn't like how they handled, but they handle in Constantinople is infernalism. Infernalism isn't called infernalism in there with a capital I. There's a really tragic story about a Bali NPC called Black Maria. Now, some of the ways that she's handled, and like
Black Maria,
yeah. Some of the like the story about how she became a Bali, I'm like, that's eye rollish. But the story about her being a ghoul and Michael when he was like Michael or however you pronounce it, like an Enoch, and like that's tragic and that's sad, and how it kind of followed Michael into Constantinople with this Bali again, how she's embraced. I'm not a fan of it, I don't like it. But there's also Nefandi who is in the city too, who is in the middle of Constantinople, a mage, and I like that too. And I feel, because it's not like in the forefront, it's just a couple paragraphs mentioned in there, but it exists there. Such a good fucking setting though. Such a good setting. I want to run a game in there one day, but it's like one of those settings where it's like, can I do it justice? You know what I mean? Like, because there's so much that has already been laid out that's wonderfully done. Oh man, is this so well done? It really is. It's a like, and there's ramifications, like you said, like if you even want to talk about when Mithras and Michael went their own ways in Rome because they wanted their own territory, or even the ramifications of what came after the fall of Constantinople, and the impact that left on people. It's so wonderfully done, really. And I think it is by far my favorite canon aspect of Vampire the Masquerade, Vampire Dark Ages, whatever you want to call it, just the overall canon. I just love how it was done.
I really like Mary the Black personally because of what happens with her and Michael. I know in V20 they kind of changed it up a little bit.
And, I didn't know that.
So spoiler, she diablerizes Michael, and they kind of become one. So like he is still alive in a way inside of her, and you know that how in some of the lore they have like things like that happen where, like with Mithras, with the whole thing where he now he's an Asmite, it's something like that, and like she has this like just grief and just madness inside of her, and it's really cool. It's really cool. I think the way they handled her in V20 is pretty good. They do a lot of things. They correct a lot of the mistakes of older versions in V20.
The back, how she was like brought forth by like tablets or some shit. You know what I mean? I was like,
no, that was kind of dumb. No, she has a sire, and
oh, nice.
Yeah, and they kind of redo her story a little bit, but I think she's a good character now. Older maybe not so much, but her story now in like modern era is pretty good.
That's awesome. Yeah, I liked her. Like I said, when she was a ghoul to Michael, and the whole tragedy of him leaving, and I liked that aspect. Not the tablet part, but oh well,
Yeah, and, well, she gotten her vengeance. She diablerized him, but then it backfired, and they became one.
And like it's even kind of implied that he knew she was going to. You know what I mean? Like the whole time he like kind of foresaw it, which again, such a fucking awesome aspect of these games really is when you tackle the tragedy behind it and just the curse,
One of the good things about that specific character in the V20 is they kind of like leave it open to the storyteller to determine like how much is Michael and how much is Mary and who's in control, and like is he subtly like is the things she's doing, these twisted fucked up things she's doing where she's creating this like well of sacrifice, which those are those are those pits of like organs and shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
well of sacrifices she's doing. Is he the one pushing her to that? Does this her serve his goals? You know, like
Is he
it leaves.
infernal,
Yeah,
basically?
is he like one is has he always been that corrupt? Like he was with a lover with the Dracon. Like was he? You
Yeah.
don't know. You know, it's like this, and he was, maybe he's this fallen angel now. You know, he saw himself as this archangel. Maybe he is like
Oh,
he's
that's so
fallen. So
metal.
it leaves it up to your imagination as a storyteller. It puts the hints there, and you can do what you want with it. And so as far as meta plot, the whole like this trinity of vampires that these ancient Methuselahs who live in the heart of like one of the greatest empires that the world has known, one of. I mean, there's plenty of others that were larger and more powerful, but you know, this is still a very important one to Western civilization. It shaped the world, and to have this just the subtle influences they have, you know, of like, you know, shaping politics for years to come, even though they're no longer around.
One other thing I liked about it, and I just thought about it now because you mentioned Dracon, is the way that the Shimize are handled in Constantinople. Very eerie shit. Very eerie shit, and ways that is not done, and it's done in a good way. You know what I mean? It's
Where like they don't do too much. You know, like in some of the some of the Shimizi content you see out there, it's like really over the top and like look at this body horror. Yeah, you know, body horror is great, but only in like when it's done right.
yeah. Just the eeriness of it, you know, the brothers Simon, I don't know if I pronounced it, and Gesu, and just like, yeah, read into it. Those NPCs are some very well done. There's a couple NPCs I'm like, corny, but you know, like everybody, you're not gonna bat 100. You know what I mean? They're just not gonna do it every time. But so many good NPCs.
I look at Beckett's Jihad Diary and disagree with you.
Okay, well, yeah, okay, bat 100. Matthew Dawkins, if you're listening, you're a perfect hitter right there when it comes to that. But
this is the epitome of his creation so far.
Awesome.
Maybe one day he'll outdo himself, but that one,
that one. I've heard.
Like I said before, my only complaint with that was like reading it on PDF was a pain.
Yeah, I mean,
I can't afford a physical copy. I just bought the PDF. That's all I've got.
To digress, but a little bit about that, I did like the driver. I forgot his name in the Chicago chapter, the one who drove Beckett to Chicago between two cities. I forgot what the city was. The driver kid, the guy who fucking feeds on people who are, you know, me and my characters I love, who use drugs. I was just like, oh, dude, I'm fucking loving it. By the way, I don't do drugs. I'm just saying that I really loved that mind bending, fear and loathing, Matthew McConaughey, just kind of fucking vibe to it. So it's really well done. So I think we summed it up pretty well, man. I think we talked about two critical, I don't want to say any of this is critical, but two kind of well-known cities and areas, two different eras, two different kind of themes that are done, what we liked and what we don't like about it, how we felt we could have tackled some things differently in it. I felt that was very informative, man. I actually can't wait to do something like this again with more canon. I kind of want to, because I feel like I learn too by this. And like I said, I feel like I can add my insights and what I feel if anyone gives a shit, you know, and how I would use it. So that's dope, man. You got anything to add before we take a break?
No, I don't think so. Not right now.
Awesome. So we're going to take a break, and then we're going to come back, and then we'll talk about things that we have coming up, and stay tuned.
High Level Games, the industry's first choice in taking your games to the next level. We are a podcast blog and new media network at highlevelgames.ca. We have blog posts about all of your favorite games going up 5 days a week, and a podcasting network with actual plays and shows that discuss role-playing games, with more rolling out all the time. We are on iTunes, Twitch, and YouTube. Find out more information at highlevelgames.ca, a site that certainly isn't controlled by a shadowy board of directors of otherworldly origin. That's highlevelgames.ca.
Please, help. They're coming.
All right, hello, and everyone, welcome back. So this is the part where we talk about things that we have coming up, kind of giving some insight into what's going on in the future and all that jazz for those of you who are interested. So on June 24th, we'll be releasing a one-shot mini-series called Eclipse Phase Continuity. Eclipse Phase is a futuristic sci-fi / horror from my understanding. Now I'll be playing in it, but Tillman, who plays in Andrew's Hunter's Hunted 2 game, who plays in Ultimate Medieval, plays in a lot of stuff, I don't need to list everything he has played, is going to DM it, I guess it's called DM and Eclipse Phase. It's not called the ST, but either way is going to run the game. Now
Game Master.
Game Master, that's okay. Now I am so excited the fact that we are doing a new game. I like that we are doing one shots that just kind of whomever has a whim to run it. We've done Chronicles of Darkness, we've done Call of Cthulhu, we did Slasher Flick, which was a blast. And so it's like get us not only trying new mediums to do what we do with our actual plays, but these one shots help us also as storytellers and as players. We can be experimental. We can try some new things. I know as a player, I definitely prefer it because I feel like if I'm given a pre-gen that comes with this, I can try out new things and not be so afraid to try out new things as a player, because these aren't going to be like long running campaigns that are going to be going on. So I can get more experimental. So I'm really happy about that. Keep your eyes open for more one shots coming down the pipe. They're just kind of figured out on a whim. I mean, we don't have any like scheduled out front, but there's talk going around about whatnot if another one will happen. So keep your eyes open out on the Eclipse phase. Tillman's super excited for it. I know that it'll be Quinn, Slavic, Becca, and I will be playing in that. So I'm really excited to give that a try. Then on July 1st, we have the Hunters Hunted 2 Corruption, the Mop Gun Mafia. I just made that up off the top of my head. The drug slinging fucking shaman and all the other gang are going to be touched upon again. Andrew is doing an awesome job running that. If you have not heard the Hunters Hunted 2 Corruption, please go listen to it. It is such a fun thing for me to play in. It has this weird element of like a lighthearted comedic approach, but also scary as fucking serious tones to it. So it's really a nice balance, man. I don't know how else to put it, Andrew, to you, but it's like this weird, perfectly balanced approach to an actual play. I mean, that's my opinion.
I'm budgeting so. I do like a bit of comedy in my games, not too much. You have to balance things out, like you said. So I'm glad that you're enjoying it. I don't think it's going to end the way you think, and it's not ending the way I thought either. That's the thing. But it is nearing an end. It's just a matter of how long it takes you guys to get there. You guys have been close to the end for going on 3 sessions now, so we'll see how long it takes y'all to get to it.
That's insane. And we left on a cliffhanger too. So like I'm really excited to kind of see how what that leads to. And it's fun. It's fun to try. All
about your rolls. The vampire kills you all. End of game.
End of game.
The World of Darkness version of Rock's Fall. Everybody dies.
I mean, just take my life anyways. My YouTube channel got shut down in game. What else is there to live for?
I got more I can throw at you.
Fuck. But yeah, check that out for sure. That has been a blast, and it's still going, and I'm so excited about it too. And then we have on the 15th, we have our Ultimate Evil. The Ultimate Evil second story arc institutionalized, the second session being released for that. When you listen to this, our first session has already been released, and I'm really excited for that. I'll tell you what, a little insight, and it's kind of funny. Like as a storyteller, I'm constantly learning new things about the experience, about myself, about just the and I hate to use the term the art because it sounds pretentious as fuck, but there is an art form when it comes to storytelling, because you are telling a story, and telling a story is art. But it's always like just when you think you have it, when you have an understanding of everything. 2 things make me nervous as a storyteller doing APs: a first session of a story and a last session of a story. After that first session and before that last session, I am pretty confident. I'm not saying I'm good or great, but I just know that when I go into it, I'm relaxed, confident. I feel like I have everything under control. I feel like, definitely my reactions are my synapses are firing on all cylinders. It's probably the cold brew that I drank. But either way, I feel more confident from the second to last session. So when we ran that first session of Ultimate Evil, it's really funny because it's been how long? It's been a year, 2 years since Ultimate Evil wrapped up. I can't remember. It's been a good long amount of time. And so I had this idea in my head, how the first session was going to go, because it was the first session's kind of like a prelude, and that I was trying to catch it up to a certain point. And when that went, it did not go how I felt it was going to go. And it's funny because in my head, red alarms are going off, and I'm like, oh shit. And I feel like in my head is being portrayed in my voice and my face, right? I'm sitting there thinking to myself, oh my fuck, I'm fucking failing. I'm failing. And I go back though, and I listen to it, and I'm like, I sound perfectly fucking normal when doing it, dude. But in my head, I feel like you could hear the panic in my voice or whatever. And so after that first session, I went to go listen to it, and I'm like, oh my fucking God, I love this. I fucking love it. I loved and this is a kudos to all the players, to you, Andrew, to Adam, to Mitch, to Slavic, to Tillman. I went and listened to those conversations, and I was just blown away how quick you guys jumped right back into those characters. I mean, there was no like growing period. You know what I mean? Like it was like right away. No, like and it's amazing. It's a testament to you guys. It is 100%.
Well, I mean, to be fair, we do plan these things out ahead of time, so we knew what we were going into. So it's not like,
oh yeah,
it's not like it was sudden. Like, hey guys, we're all together. Let's play this Ultimate Evil. Like it wasn't like that.
Yeah.
To be fair, we knew what we were. All right, Ultimate Evil Part 2. Let's do this.
Let's do it. We've been fired up for it. But like the ways you guys interacted, though, you know what I mean? Like the conversations and just like the.
Oh, I mean, it flows naturally because we're just playing the character that we have, how we imagine them, and just playing them off each other.
Yeah.
And that's, as always, it's just a natural way. Like we can do that. Yes, it doesn't matter which game it is, whether it's Ultimate Evil or TCBN or even one of the other games. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We are able to do that. You can trust us, Chris. It's okay.
Yeah. Well, it
okay.
also like it brings out like I listened to it and I just thought this is how real people would react. You know what I mean? And you can't predict how real people would react, and that's the beauty of it. So
that's part of what I was going for in that session was like. Oh, we're picking right up. Okay, you asked for this.
Yeah.
We're right where we left off. All right. Like if I had time to deal with this shit, it's a different story. But
yeah. Well, the one that's gonna be released on the 15th of July is going to like start 6 months later. You know what I mean? So we'll get to do some deep character exploration, man. I'm really fucking excited for that. Really excited for that. By the way, that story is very special to me because it's a place that I spent time my childhood in, and a lot of the people and the places are based off of real people and places I knew. So it's like I don't know, man. I'm just super excited about it too, and I'm just like fucking pounding away notes, dude. So, anyways, I'm fucking talking too much about it, but check it out. It is man, it's just that game for me, dude. I mean, I love TCBN and I love other shit I ran, but this is the game where it's like therapeutic in a way. So I'm very excited about tackling it. So. And then after that, we have on the 22nd, we will be releasing Chronicles of Darkness, Temptation, Inferno. And let me fucking say, I have so much fun playing in that game. I did not know what to expect with that game after the first session. Seriously, Slavic pitched this idea, had 2 separate character creation sessions, and I am vastly enjoying it. And I'm not comparing ourselves to this, and please don't take what I'm about to say as like me comparing us to a TV show. I'm not trying to say that, but Tillman said it best where he told me in conversation that it had like that early Game of Thrones vibe to it, and the fact that like it wasn't clean, and it was very like grounded. You know what I mean? Like had that grime feel to it.
Isn't it the game where you guys are like modeling after like Wraith, sort of, where you have like a demon and a person playing the same character?
Yep, for sure.
Okay.
The demons are actually.
I haven't listened to it at all yet. So I just know like the pitch that Slavic gave.
Yeah, it's really a testament to Slavic, and it's a testament to Tillman and Quinn, who play the 2 demons, and the fact that really the for the most part the game focuses around my character, Brother Jan, and Craig's character, and the demons are a mere backdrop, but like the patience that the players have in playing these demons and the timing is fucking impeccable, dude. There's a line.
I mean, that's their character, right?
Yep.
So, of course, they're gonna play demons.
Yeah, for sure. And the way each handles it, but like there's a distinct line, and you'll hear it when you get around to listening to it. There's one line that Tillman I think did great because he is playing the demon that is attached to Craig's character, and Craig's playing this Sir Reinhardt. He's like a younger brother in a minor family and a pretentious asshole. I love you, Craig, but his character, my character don't get along, but the demon.
Please tell me he didn't model him after Reinhardt from Overwatch.
I don't have no idea who that is, but I don't think so. I mean, Craig's historical knowledge, by the way.
Is he blonde with like really tall, broad shoulder with a massive shield and a hammer?
No, not. He's just he's a pretentious asshole. I love you, Craig.
I mean,
no, but anyways,
asshole too. And
yeah,
Overwatch.
So there's a scene where Tillman, who's playing his demon, out of the blue, asks, "Why haven't you laid with a woman?" And it's just like you have this guy.
Oh, what do I say?
Yeah. And the guy's like, "I haven't been holy sacrament." He's like, "Yes, but you have the furs to show that you have status." why haven't you, you know what I mean? It's just like, oh my God, Tillman, you're freaking me out, bro, because he's so like a tempting demon. Where Quinn, who plays my demon's like, don't you want to be comfortable? And it's cool how he does it, like where like I debate my demon and like it's like this back and forth because my guy's like a fanatical fucking,
and the other demon's just like questioning your manhood.
yeah, exactly. Like, why don't you take the power you deserve?
Two different approaches to insidiousness.
Yeah, it's more temptation.
We talked about earlier.
Yeah, for sure. So it's it's dope, and it led to a lot of good role playing scenes. And Slavic straight up said that like his goal is to have it be like the first UE was the first Ultimate Evil, whereas like, you know, a lot of the characters kind of like, you know what I mean, had scenes that just were sporadic or whatever, and he did well, dude. Like go listen to it if you haven't, and plus you get to hear Slavic's new mic in action, dude, and like fucking. Thank you to our Patreons, by the way, for all that, and we appreciate that. So yeah, that's what we have coming up, man. It's cry how it's coming along. So do you have anything to add, Mr. Andrew, before we let these people go?
Yeah. Get more sleep, drink less alcohol, and eat a healthy diet, and you'll be happier.
Yes, and drink cold brew and listen to Black Sabbath. Yes. Until then, thank you everyone for listening. We are out. I'm going to talk to my friend without you guys spying on us.
Hello again, folks. I'd like to tell you about the Facebook group we run called White Wolf and Onyx Path RPGs, Gameplay and Media. Have you ever wished you could have an easy way to find gameplay videos and podcasts, or just media in general that deals with your favorite White Wolf role-playing games? Or have you ever wished you could find a forum to share gameplay that you have recorded? One that won't be drowned out by random posts and discussions, so that your media could get the attention you deserve. The group is specifically run with the sole intent of it being a one-stop shop for people to view or share media involving the games we all love. We take thorough steps to ensure the page does not become cluttered and is easy to traverse. The group is already immense and continuing to rapidly grow, with new media being shared every day. Stop on by. We hope to see you there.